So now we are going to see some more characteristics of cell envelope.
Okay.
So here bacterial cells can be motile,
Okay.
or they cannot be motile.
Non-motile,
Yes,
okay.
they are non-motile.
Motile or non-motile.
So here if these bacteria are motile, they will be having some extension from cell wall, which is the middle layer, glycocalyx, cell wall and the plasma membrane. So they will be having extensions from cell wall. So if these extensions can be flagella, pili or fimbriae, okay. So this flagella, if it has flagella, it has three parts: filament, hook and basal body.
Okay.
So this filament is a long and tubular part
Like
of
a
the
needle
cell.
it will be extended.
Yes.
Okay.
Tubular, like a thread, not like needle. It will not be straight, it will be waving, okay. So this will be a long tubular part of this flagella filament. It extends from the cell surface to outside, okay. So other structures which arise from this cell wall are pili and fimbriae. So if these are present, also the cell will be non-motile. It will not be motile, okay. It cannot move. So pili is made up of special protein. It is a proteinaceous form.
Okay.
And fimbriae are small fibers. It is coming out of the cell.
Okay.
Okay. So these two does not help in motile. It does not help in locomotion, but it helps the bacteria or the prokaryotic cells to fix into a rocks, to fix themselves into
To
rocks.
attach the body to
Yes.
something.
Okay. So these structures help for that. So next we discuss about the second subtopic under prokaryotic cells, which is ribosomes and inclusion bodies. Okay. So now we are going to see the second subtopic, which is ribosomes and inclusion bodies. So we will be discussing separately what are ribosomes and what are inclusion bodies here. So ribosomes are these are substances which are associated with plasma membrane.
Okay.
Plasma membrane. Okay. So here these ribosomes are made up of two subunits.
Okay.
First, which is 50S and 30S. Okay. So these together form prokaryotic ribosomes to form 70S subunit. Okay. So here these ribosomes perform an important function in protein synthesis. They synthesize proteins in prokaryotic cell. Okay, these ribosomes. So several ribosomes they form a single mRNA strand. Okay, several ribosomes form a single mRNA strand. So these several ribosomes forming single mRNA strand are known as polyribosomes or polysome. Okay, polyribosomes.
Polyribosomes or polysomes.
Yes.
Take out the ribo.
Yes. So here what it does, what this single mRNA strand does. So it transfers mRNA to proteins. It converts them to proteins. Okay, this is what these ribosomes function. Okay. So next we are going to see about inclusion bodies. So in prokaryotes there is only 70S ribosome. Okay, you have to remember this 50S plus 30S subunit with 70S ribosomes. Okay. So here we are coming to inclusion bodies now. So these inclusion bodies are nothing but they have reserve food material or reserve material in prokaryotic cell. They store them and store these in the cytoplasm. Okay, in the form of inclusion bodies.
Okay.
So these inclusion bodies are not membrane bounded structure. These inclusion bodies do not have a membrane bounded do not have a membrane to bound itself.
Okay.
So and they lie free in cytoplasm because they have no membrane. So examples of these inclusion bodies are phosphate granules. The granules present as phosphates, and granules present as synophysin. So synophysin granules, phosphate granules, and glycogen granules. The granules which are present as glycogen. These three are examples of inclusion bodies. Okay, and some bacteria have gas vacuoles in them. They have gas in them, gas vacuoles in them. So the example of these bacteria are blue-green bacteria, purple bacteria, and green bacteria. So these three bacteria have gas vacuoles in them. So these three bacteria perform photosynthetic. These three photosynthetic bacteria. Okay, these three bacteria perform photosynthesis. Okay. So this is about ribosomes and inclusion bodies which are present in prokaryotic cells. Okay, we have discussed two subtopics under prokaryotic cells, which were cell envelope and its modification,
Next we'll
and
see
ribosomes and inclusion bodies. So next we will be seeing eukaryotic cell. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about the eukaryotic cells after prokaryotic cells. So these eukaryotic cells, as we know, generally these have membrane bound nucleus.
Okay.
So generally prokaryotic cells are all bacteria and pneumonia like organisms, mycoplasmas and everything. So here eukaryotic cells, those which have eukaryotic cells are protists, which are protista, plants, animals and fungi. So these organisms generally have eukaryotic cells in their body. So these eukaryotic cells have compartmentalization of cytoplasm. So their cytoplasm is like a compartment. Okay, if mitochondria, it does one function, and if it is endoplasmic reticulum, it does one function. So every organelles in the cytoplasm does its own function. So it is like a compartment.
It does not depend on each other.
It depends on each other, but it acts as a compartment. Okay, but a connected compartment. It acts as a connected compartment. So it is compartmentalization of cytoplasm. It looks like that. So here these eukaryotic cells have complex locomotory. So these eukaryotic cells have complex locomotory structures. Like they have cytoskeleton, flagella, and they have complex locomotory structures here. So here genetic material is present in chromosomes in these organisms. And so now here plant cells have cell wall, plastids and a large vacuole. They have cell wall. They have plastids and a large vacuole. In plant cells there is a large vacuole present. These three are absent in animals. In animals there is no cell wall, no plastids, and they have very, very smaller vacuole. Okay. So in animal cells there are centriole, which are non-membrane bound centriole. So these are absent in plants.
Okay.
Okay, can you understand? These are absent in animals and that is absent in plants, which is present in animals. So this is present in plant cells. Are you clear? So here now we are going to discuss so now we have seen generally about the eukaryotic cells. So now we are going to discuss the first subtopic under eukaryotic cells, which is the cell membrane. Okay. So here cell membrane is also known as plasma membrane. Okay. So here in plants this cell membrane forms the second layer. The outermost layer is cell wall and the second layer is cell membrane. So here cell membrane was discovered after the invention. So here cell membrane was discovered after the invention of discovery of electron microscope.
Okay.
Okay. So here the chemical studies were done on human RBCs. Okay, human red blood cells, which are also known as erythrocytes. So by these chemical studies, and at that same time the electron microscope was also invented. So these two it became possible to establish the structure of plasma membrane with the human RBCs. Okay. So here what does this plasma membrane contain?
Okay.
It has a lipid bilayer structure. So it has a lipid layer at the top and lipid layer at the bottom.
Okay.
So outer side of the lipid layer has polar head. Polar head is nothing but these polar are water lovable. Okay. This lipid bilayer is present. So one layer is on the top and one layer is at the bottom. So here outer side of the lipid bilayer there is polar head. Polar head is nothing but the substance which is soluble in water. Okay, they are soluble. Yes, polar means they are water lovable. Okay, they can exist in water. And hydrophobic tail is in between the two lipid bilayer. It is in between the two lipid bilayer. Yes, it is inside. Okay,
it's going through inside and coming out.
If this is lipid bilayer, outside the polar head and inside hydrophobic tail. Okay. So this lipid bilayer is made up of phosphoglycerides. This lipid content is because of phosphoglycerides. Okay. So now we'll discuss some more characteristics about cell membrane, which is plasma membrane. Okay. So now we are going to see about the cell membrane.
Okay.
So already we have seen some points. So we are going to see some more points on cell membrane in eukaryotic cells.
Okay.
So these cells, with respect to lipid bilayer, they also contain proteins and carbohydrates.
With lipid bilayer, they also contain protein and
Yes, other than lipid bilayer, they also contain proteins and carbohydrates. So these two varies in ratio with different cells. Okay, the ratio differs to different cell types. Okay. So for example, in human RBC, human red blood cells, it is 52% protein
and 40%
40% of lipids are present in cell membrane. Okay. So here, based on the removal, if we can, based on the extension of removal of these proteins, these are about of two kinds: peripheral proteins and integral proteins. Peripheral proteins are on the surface of the cell membrane. Okay. And integral proteins are partially or it is totally buried in the cell membrane. It is partially or it is totally buried in the cell membrane. So these are integral proteins and peripheral proteins. And here, improved model of this cell membrane, a very advanced model of cell membrane, was proposed by Singer and Nicholson in 1972. Actually 1972 they proposed improved model of cell membrane. So this model was known as fluid mosaic model. So what the fluid mosaic model, it is also known as quasi-fluid model of the cell membrane. So this what does this model conveys is these lipid bilayer can allow proteins inside the cell membrane. Okay, so they enable lateral movement of proteins within the lipid bilayer. Okay. So the ability to the movement of proteins is known as fluidity of the membrane. Okay. So here the fluid nature of membrane is also the fluid nature of membrane because of the proteins are moving because of the lateral movements of protein. So it helps to the growth of cell and formation of intracellular junctions, secretion and cell division and etc. It performs various functions because of this fluid nature of the cell membrane. Okay. So next we will discuss about some more characteristics about cell membrane. Now we are going to discuss some more characteristics of cell membrane. Since the lipid bilayer is non-polar, it is not water soluble because it is like lipid substance. It is not non-polar, it is not water soluble, so therefore many substances cannot pass through this lipid bilayer. So these need specific transport. So for example, there are three kinds of transport: passive transport, facilitated diffusion and active transport, and a normal simple diffusion. Okay. So here passive transport is nothing but all water soluble molecules. So these generally pass through this lipid bilayer. So passive transport is nothing but movement of molecules without the requirement of energy. So to pass through they do not require any energy. So those transports are known as passive transports which do not need energy. Okay. And then osmosis is a kind of diffusion, simple diffusion, where in simple diffusion the fluid just diffuses from higher concentration to lower concentration. From higher concentration it diffuses to lower concentration regions. So it is known as diffusion. Okay. And then active transport, the substances or molecules or ions which move by active transport, they generally move from lower concentration to higher concentration. Okay. So therefore they need energy to move. So with requirement of energy, for example, they can take ATP. ATP is an adenosine triphosphate which is an energy molecule. energy compound. Say they take so they take up this and they move across this across the membrane. So example, sodium potassium pump. So it moves this pump takes this pump is an example of active transport. Okay. So next is facilitated diffusion. In this diffusion, in membrane there will be some proteins. Okay, that proteins will take up some molecules and put it inside. Okay, so this is known as facilitated diffusion. The ions or molecules are moved with the help of these proteins. Okay, so we have studied how the molecules laterally move across the membrane. We have studied passive transport, osmosis, active transport, and facilitated diffusion. Okay, so with this we are completing the subtopic under eukaryotic cell, which is cell membrane, the first subtopic. So next we'll go to cell wall. We'll be discussing about cell wall. Now we are going to discuss about cell wall.
Okay.
So this cell wall is a non-living substance present in the outer covering of plants and animals, outer to the plasma membrane. Okay. So outer covering of cell membrane in plants and fungi. So here it gives shape to the cell. It protects from mechanical damage and it protects from infection and everything. It cures the infection of cell. So it provides the cell to cell interaction. So interaction from one cell to the other cell, it provides interaction. So this cell wall mainly present in plants. And cell wall of algae is composed of cellulose, galactans, mannans, and calcium carbonate. Okay, so cellulose, galactans, mannans, and calcium carbonate. Cell wall of algae is composed of these substances. Whereas cell wall of plants, other plants are composed of cellulose, hemicellulose, pectins, and proteins. Cellulose, hemicellulose, pectins, and proteins. So cell wall of other plants are composed of these four substances, whereas algae is different and it is composed of these four substances. Okay. So here generally in plants, when they are primary plant, when they are generally when their plant body is primary, they develop a primary wall. The new cell develops a primary cell wall, and after some time, after later when it gets matures, this primary wall have the capacity to divide and grow. Okay, so after it gets mature, it forms a secondary wall inside to this inside to the cell. It starts to develop a secondary wall inside to the primary wall, nearby to the primary wall, which faces inside the cell. Okay, so this is known as secondary wall, and it is not capable for division. Okay, so primary wall and secondary wall. Primary wall is capable for division and secondary wall cannot divide. Primary wall forms a secondary wall to the inner side of the cell. Okay. So middle lamella, it is made up of calcium pectate. Okay. So this middle lamella is present beneath the cell wall. Okay, it is present outside to the cell wall in plants. And what it does, it holds all the cells together. This middle lamella holds all the cells together. So this plasmodesmata, this connects the cytoplasm of the neighboring cells. Okay, and it also paves the way to the formation of this middle lamella and cell wall, and it connects everything, connects the cytoplasm of its neighboring cells. Okay, it paves the way for its connection. This plasmodesmata. Okay, so middle lamella is made up of calcium pectinate, that we have to remember. So these are the general characteristics of cell wall. So the main thing is the functions. It gives a shape, protects from mechanical damage and infections, cell to cell interaction. Okay, so these 3 points are very important, and the substances which are present in cell wall in algae and other plants are very, very important in this topic. So with this, the subdivision cell wall, the subtopic cell wall gets over. So next we are going to the endomembrane system. Okay.